Miss Julie's crazy again tonight. Absolutely crazy.
Oh, so you've come back, have you?
Oh, I took the count to the station. And when I returned, I went by the barn to see the dancing. And there was the young lady leading the dance with the gamekeeper. But when she caught sight of me, oh, she rushed right up and insisted that I dance the lady's waltz with her. And ever since, she's been bouncing like, well, I never saw the like of it. She's crazy.
As if that was anything new. But she's never been as wild as she's been this last fortnight. Since her engagement was broken.
Oh, he was a true gentleman, although he isn't rich. But they're so full of notions. It's peculiar anyhow that a young lady would prefer staying at home with her servants than going with her father to the relatives, don't you think?
Oh, she's probably sort of embarrassed by all the messes with the young man. And besides, the Count probably put it a blessing that...
Don't you ever presume to know what the Count thinks?
Why, Jan, I only say
Just
what
be mindful of what you say, Christian. We wouldn't want you to get waved like that young man.
What's that?
No, I saw how the whole thing played out.
No, please do.
Sure I did. They were in the stable yard one evening, and the young lady was trailing him as she called it. You know what that meant? She made him leave for her course of it the way you teach a dog to jump. The first time he played along in a jovial manner, amusing her and himself and my dad. Then she caught him on the left leg. The second time he complied with an almost defiant obedience. Then she caught him on the right leg. Well, there was no third time. He grabbed that whip and broke it into 1,000 bits and threw it at her feet.
And then what?
Well, the mistress just stood there. With rage building out in her, the good sir walked out of her life forever. He has some backbone, that one does. I thought for sure she was going...
So that's the way it happened, you don't say.
Yes, I do say.
Now that I think of it, she's been acting mighty strange. Well, stranger than usual for months.
Well, we've talked too much of it anyhow. Now what tasty morsel have you got for me, my dear?
Oh, it's just some kidney that I got out of the veal roast.
Fine. That's my grade Elise. But you might have warmed the plate.
My, you're harder to please than the Count himself. No.
Don't touch my hair.
Well, it was nothing but a love.
Oh, beer. A Midsummer's Eve. Thank you, no. I have something far better. Bring me a glass, one with a stem, from which to drink this pure nectar.
God save the poor fool that gets you for a husband, you thanks.
You'd be lucky to snare a smart fellow like me. And it hasn't hurt that they call me your beau. I'm so sorry, Chris. The soul of the wine sings from the bottom of its bottles. Good. Pretty good. Just a tiny bit too cold. We got this at Dijon. It cost 4 francs per liter plus the bottle charge, and there was the duty besides. What are you concocting there with that infernal smell?
It's some deviltry the ladyship is going to give Diane.
Well, you should choose your words with more care, Christine. But why should you be cooking for a bitch on Midsummer's Eve? Is she sick?
Yeah, she's sick. She's been running around with a fever's hand, and now she's pregnant. And Miss Julie just won't have her golden girl giving birth to a bunch of mongrels, as she put it.
Well, the young lady's too stuck up in some ways, and not proud enough in others. Just as the Countess was where she lived. I heard tell that she was most at home in the kitchen and among the cows. She demanded a full team of horses to draw her carriage. Even though she wore her cows until they were filthy, she had to have buckets with a coronet on them. And the young lady is her mother's daughter, to be certain. But she doesn't take proper care of herself and her person. I might even say that she is lacking in refinement. Take the way she is behaving at the dance, for instance. Just as I was leaving, she stole the blacksmith away from Anna. Well, we wouldn't act in that way, but that's just how it is. When the gentry want to act common, they become less than common. Oh, but she is splendid. Magnificent. Such shoulders.
Don't admire her too much. I've heard Clara talking, and she dresses
Oh,
us.
Clara, you're always jealous of each other, pretending that you know more than you do. I have been out riding with Miss Julie, what a seat, and the way she dances.
Won't you dance with me when I'm down here?
Oh, of course I will.
Do you promise?
Promise. When I say I'll do a thing, I'll do it. Now, here's thanks for the wonderful meal.
I'll be back in a minute. You go right and dancing. Well, is it done yet?
The ladies are plotting, I believe.
Frank Francis, that's for you.
Oh, what a delicious scent of violet.
Impudent! So you know something about perfumes also and know pretty well how to dance. Now, don't peek. Go away.
Is it some kind of witch's brew that the ladies have cooked up on Midsummer Eve? Something to tell fortune's vine to bring out the lucky star in which you want you to love a scene.
If you can see that, you'll have good eyes indeed. Put it in a bottle and cork it well and make sure the gamekeeper gets it in the morning. That's take care of the thing. Now, come dance shellfish with me, Jan.
I don't mean any disrespect, but I have promised to dance with Kristen this time.
Well, she can get somebody else, can't you, Kristen? Won't you let me borrow Jan from you?
That isn't for me to say. When Miss Julie is so gracious, it isn't for him to say no. You go along and be thankful for the honor, too.
Frankly speaking, but not wishing to offend in any way. I cannot help wondering if it's wise for Miss Julie to dance so often with the same partner, especially as the people here are not slow in throwing out.
What kind of hints? What do you mean?
As you don't want to understand, I have to speak more plainly. It does not look well to prefer one servant to all the rest who are expected to be honored in the same unusual way.
What idea? I, the mistress of the house, deign to honor these festivities with my presence, and when I actually want to dance, I want to dance with someone who knows how to lead so that I am not made to look ridiculous.
As you command, Miss Julie, I am not your servant.
Don't take it as a command! Tonight we shall enjoy ourselves. There's a lot of happy people, and no rank should be forgotten. Hop in his walks and gambol in his eyes, feeding with apricots and dewberries, with purple grapes, green figs and mulberries, and hanging that slip from the highways. And for night tappers, rub their waxen thighs and light them up the fiery glow worm's eyes. Don't worry, Christine, I won't steal your bow. Wait!
So she fancies herself the queen of fairies now, does she? That ass, not a chance. Oh, and him, Lord Yon, telling me what to say. I can't speak. I'll tell him a thing or two.
Crazy? That's what she is. And the way she dances. I've never seen the like of it. And how those peasants love to smirk at her.
She's having her period. And she's always a little queer like that. But are you going to dance with me now?
I hope you're not mad at me.
Not for a little thing like that. And besides, I know my place.
Your place is here. You're a sensible girl, Kristen. Oh. What's that on your lips?
Just a bit of strawberry to liven the face.
Oh, I think you need some cream with that.
Yeah. Flowers. Flowers.
You're a fine partner, deserting your lady.
On the contrary, Miss Julie, I haven't seen come back for the one whom I truly deserted.
But you know there is nobody that dances like you. But why do you wear your liver on an evening like this? Take it off at once.
Then I must ask you to step outside for a moment.
Are you bashful? Just to change a coat? Why don't you go into your room then? Or you can stay here. I'll turn my back.
With your permission, Miss Julie.
Tell me, Kristen, are you engaged?
Engaged?
Yes, engaged.
Well, in a way. We don't exactly call it that.
Call it.
Well, Miss Julie, you had a fellow of your own, and
We really were engaged.
but it didn't come to anything just the same.
Woo! Très gentil, Monsieur Jean. Très gentil.
Vous voulez place une thème, madame?
Et vous voulez parler français? Where did you learn it? Ah!
In Switzerland, well, I was a wine server in one of the big hotels at Lucerne.
But you look every inch the gentleman in your frock coat. Très charmant.
Oh, but you flatter me.
Flatter? You?
My natural modesty does not allow me to believe that you could be paying genuine compliments to one like me. So I dare to assume that you are exaggerating. Or as we call it, flattering.
Where did you learn to use your words in such a manner? You must have been to the theater a great deal.
I have been to a lot of places.
But you were born here?
My father was a labourer on the county attorney's property, right by here.
Oh.
And I can recall seeing you as a child. Although you, of course, didn't notice me.
No, really?
Really? I remember one time in particular. But of that I can't speak.
Oh, yes, do.
No, not now. At least another time, perhaps.
Another time is no time. Is it as bad as that?
No, it isn't bad. But it comes a little hard. Look at that one.
She'll make a pleasant wife, no doubt. And perhaps she's Norse, too.
No, she doesn't, but she talks in her sleep.
How do you know?
I have heard it.
Why don't you sit down?
It wouldn't be proper in your presence.
And if I ordered you to do it?
Then I would obey.
Sit down! But wait, give me something to drink.
My dear, we have nothing but beer.
And you call that nothing? My taste is so simple that I prefer it to wine.
At your service.
Thank you. Don't you want some yourself?
I don't care very much for beer, but if it's a command.
A command! I should think a polite gentleman might keep his lady company.
As you wish.
Oh.
The count's boots are polished.
Drink my health. Now. 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 Oh, are you bashful? A big grown-up man.
To the health of my lady.
Bravo. And now you must kiss my shoe in order to get it just right. Excellent! You should have been on the stage.
Well, this won't do any longer, Miss Julie. Somebody might see us.
What would that matter?
I would set the people talking, that's all. And if you only knew how their lips were smacking a while ago.
What did they have to say? Sit down, tell me. Now.
I don't want to hurt you.
Sit.
But they were using expressions which must inflections of the kind that, well, you know it yourself. You're not a child. And when a lady is seen with a man drinking, no matter if it's only a servant and at night, then...
Then what? And besides, we're not alone. Isn't Kristen with us?
Yes, asleep.
Honestly, you are so provincial. It's almost endearing. Oh, I'll wake her. Kristen! You're awake. Did you ever see such a sleeper? What a sack of potatoes. Can't you wake up?
Leave her alone!
What's that?
One who has stood by their stove all day has a right to be tired at night, and sleep should be respected.
It is fine to think like that, and it does you honor. Come now, come pick some letters.
Oh, with you, Miss Julie?
Yes.
Absolutely not. Wouldn't be appropriate.
I can't understand what you're thinking. You couldn't possibly imagine that.
No, not I. But the people.
What? That I am fond of the ballad? Ew!
I am not at all conceited, but such things have happened. And to the people, nothing is sacred.
Oh, you are an aristocrat, I think.
Oh, yes, I am.
And I am stepping down.
Heed my counsel, Miss Julie, don't step down. Oh, don't you ever step down. Who would believe that you did it willingly? The people will always say that you fell down.
I think better of the people than you do. Here, come and see if I am mistaken. Come on now. Chop, chop.
You are awful strange.
Oh, well, perhaps, but so are you. And for that matter, everything is strange. Life, men, it's everything. It's just scum that floats on top of the water until it sinks. It sinks to the bottom. I have a dream that comes back to me every so often. I have climbed to the top of a column and I sit there without knowing how to get down. I get dizzy when I look down, and I must get down, but I haven't the courage to jump up. I cannot hold on, and I am longing to fall, and yet I don't fall. But there will be no rest for me until I get down. No rest until I get down to the ground, and if I did reach the ground, I should want to get still further down into the earth itself. Have you ever felt like that?
Never. My dream is that I am lying under a tall tree in a dark wood. And I want to get up to the top so that I can look out over the smiling landscape where the sun is shining, and so that I can go up the nest at the peak of the golden eggs. And I climb and climb, but the trunk is so thick and smooth, and it is so far to the first branch that I know that if I could only get hold of that first branch, then I should go right on to the top as on a ladder. I have not reached it yet, but I am going to. If it only be my dream.
Oh, here I am, chattering to you about dreams. Oh, well, come along now.
Oh, you must collect and sleep on 9 midsummer flowers tonight, Miss Julie, and dreaming.
I'll do no such thing, for I have already dreamt of the one I should marry when I was awake. What a nightmare that turned out to be. Come on, now. Oh. Is there something in your eye?
Oh, no, nothing, just some dust.
Well, sit down, let me help you. Sit down. Let me help you. Sit still now. Absolutely still. Can't you do as I say? Oh, you're trembling. Oh, big strong fellow like you was such a...
Attention, tienes weak, you know.
Sit still, you ox. There. Should be gone now. Kiss my head in thanks.
Miss Julie, listen to me. Christine has gone to bed now. Won't you listen to me?
Well, kiss my hand first.
Listen to me!
My hand first.
All right, but blame nobody but yourself.
For what?
For what?
Yes.
Are you still only a child? Don't you know that it is dangerous to play with fire?
Oh, not for me. I'm insured.
Oh, no, you're not. And even if you were, the surroundings are flammable.
Oh, that's you, I suppose.
Oh, not because I am Michael, because I am a man.
Oh, handsome appearance. What an incredible casino. Oh, a Don Juan, perhaps. Oh! How dare you?
Did you really mean that?
Oh, I meant it all right, you bastard.
are playing serious and dangerous games, Miss Julie.
Ah.
And now I am tired of playing, and I ask to be excused in order to resume my work. The Count will expect his books to be ready when he returns, and it is after midnight already.
What's that?
No, it's my work which I am bound to, but I am not obliged to be your playmate.
You're proud.
In some ways, but not in others.
Have you ever been in love?
We don't use that word, Miss Julie. But I have been fond of a lot of girls. And once I was taken sick because I couldn't have the one I wanted. Sick, you know, like those princes in the Arabian Nights who cannot eat or drink for sheer love.
Who was it? Who was it?
You cannot make me tell.
If I ask you, as an equal, ask you as a friend, who was it?
It was you.
How funny.
I mean, it was ludicrous, of course.
Oh.
That was the story, you see, which I didn't want to tell you a while ago.
Oh.
Do you know how the world looks from below? No, you don't. No more than do hawks and falcons, of whom you never see the back because they're always floating about high up in the sky. I lived in the cotter's hovel, together with 7 other children and a pig. Out there on the great plain where there isn't a single tree. But from the window I could see the wall around the Count's park, and apple trees above it. Oh, that was the Garden of Eden. And many fierce angels were guarding it with flaming swords. Nevertheless, I and some other boys found our way to the Tree of Life. Do you despise me?
Oh, well, stealing apples is something all boys do.
You may say so now, but you despise me nevertheless. However, once I got into the Garden of Eden with my mother to weed the onion beds. Nearby stood a Turkish pavilion shaded by trees and covered with honeysuckle. I didn't know what it was used for, but I had never seen a more beautiful building. People went in and came out again, and one day the door was left wide open. I sneaked up and discovered the walls were covered with opulent paintings of kings and the emperors, and the windows were hung with red fringed curtains.
Oh, the lavatory.
Yes. I had never been inside the manor, and I had never seen anything but the church, and this place was much finer. No matter where my thoughts ran, they returned always to that place. And gradually a longing arose within me to taste the full pleasure of fun. Later that morning I stole in, and I was mesmerized by the luxurious room. Suddenly, I heard somebody coming, and there was only one way out for fine people. But for me there was another, and I could do nothing else but choose it. So, through the filth I went. Then I started to run, launched through a hedge of raspberry bushes, right across a strawberry plantation, and came out on the terrace, where the roses grow. From there I caught sight of a pink dress and a pair of white stockings. That was you. Then I crawled into a pile of weeds and came right into it, into stinging thistles, and waited till the smelling dirt that made me filthier than I already was. And I saw you walking among the roses, and I thought, if it's possible for a robber to get into heaven and dwell with the angels, it is strange that a cottage child here on God's own earth cannot get into the park and play with the count's daughter.
Do you think all poor children have the same thoughts as you did?
If all poor? No, of course.
Oh. But it must be a dreadful misfortune to be poor.
Oh, Miss Julie. A dog may lie on her ladyship's sofa. A horse may have his nose patted by the young lady's hand. The servant. Oh, yes. Every now and again you come across one made of different stuff. And he makes a way for himself in the world. But how often does it happen? You know what I did that afternoon? I jumped into the milk with my clothes on to wash up all of the shit. But my father caught me out, and he gave me the licking of a lifetime. The next Sunday, when my father and the rest were going over to my grandmother's, I played sick like a dog so that I could stay at home and then scrubbed myself nearly raw and put on my best clothes. And went to church, where I could see you.
In a church.
I did see you.
I don't recall ever going to a church.
No,
the woods are so much more welcoming.
You were there all right.
Oh.
Sitting in the front pew, wearing a yellow dress and a blue ribbon in your hair. I didn't notice who you were with, I didn't care. What I remember vividly is how the sunlight streamed in and seemed to settle specially on you. Of course, I soon realized that you would be forever out of my reach. And I went home determined to die. But I wanted to die beautifully and pleasantly, without any pain, in honor of the sweetness of you. And then I recalled that it was dangerous to sleep under an elder bush, and we had a big one that was in full bloom, so I robbed it of its flowers, put them in a big old box, and lay down in them, already dreaming of you, my eternity beginning. Did you ever notice the smoothness of oaks? They're soft to the touch as human skin. So I pulled the lid down, and closed my eyes, determined to climb all the way to heaven. But all I did was fall asleep and wake up a very sick boy. What I wanted, oh, that's more than I can tell.
Oh, but you're a wonderful raconteur. Did you ever go to school?
A little. But I have read a lot of novels and been to the theater a good deal. And besides, I have listened to the speech of your people and learned a good deal from it.
Do you stand around and listen to what we are saying?
Of course.
Of course.
And when I was on the box of the carriage or rowing the boat, and once I heard you, Miss Julie, talking to one of your cousins during her last visit.
Oh, what is it you think you heard, praying mantis?
Oh, well, it wouldn't be easy to repeat, but I was rather surprised. And I couldn't understand where you had learned to use your words like that. Oh, perhaps at bottom, there isn't quite so much difference between one sort of people and another.
You should be ashamed of yourself. We don't live as you do when we are engaged.
Well, Miss Julie, won't pay to make yourself so very innocent to me.
The man on whom I bestowed my love was a scoundrel.
That's what you always say afterwards.
Always?
Always, for I have heard the same words, used several times before on similar occasions.
What occasions?
Like the one on which we were speaking.
No, stop! I don't want to hear anymore.
That's what she said, curiously enough. Then I asked permission to retire.
But go to bed on Midsummer Eve.
Yes, I have no interest in dancing with that mom.
Well, get the keys to the boathouse and take me out on the lake. I want to watch the sunrise.
Would that be wise?
Well, it sounds as if you were afraid for your reputation.
I don't care to be made ridiculous either. And I don't care to be discharged without a recommendation. I am trying to get on in the world. And then I feel myself under certain obligations to Kristen.
Oh, so it's Kristen now?
Yes, but it's you also. Take my advice and go to bed.
I'm going to obey you.
For once, for your own sake. The night is far gone, sleep in his face is strong, and the head goes washed. And besides, I can hear that rabble coming here to look for us. And if we're found together, you are lost.
Well, I know the people, and I love them just as they love me. But then come, you'll see.
Oh, they don't love you, Miss Julie, believe me. They take your food and spit at your back. Don't you hear what they're singing?
What is that?
No man is back.
It's good, it's about us.
Thursday night, he's gonna pull what she goes.
Treacherous, how, they should be ashamed of
Their mouth
themselves.
is always cordial, but they don't have much shame. In such a fight, there is nothing to do but to run away.
Run away. There's no escape from here. And we cannot go into Christine's room.
Oh, we cannot. Into my room, then?
Oh.
Necessity knows no law, and you can trust me, for I am your true and frank and respectful friend.
Yeah, but think, if they should come and look for you and find us in there.
I shall bolt the door, and if they try to break it open, else should come.
Oh, and you promise me?
I swear.
She's gonna make it fair. He's gonna be nice. He's gonna pull a hair. When she goes to find on his jumping hole, honey, jumping hole, yum. He acts so right. She acts so good. Now Midsummer's night, when she knocks his wood in jumping hole. Jumping hole. She'll collect her toll, he'll sell his soul when he sticks and not control with his jumping hole. Not control, oh, the jumping hole! Woo!
There. See what they did. Do you really think it possible to stay here, now?
No. But what are we to do?
Run away.
Run away.
Travel far away from here.
Trouble. But yes. But where?
To Switzerland. The Italian lakes. Have you ever been there?
No. Is the country beautiful?
Oh, eternal summer.
Oh.
Orange trees in full bloom. Laurels as green as the days long. Such marvels.
Yeah, but yes, but what are we to do down there?
I'll start a hotel. Everything first class, including the guests.
A hotel?
Yes, that's the life, I tell you. Oh, constantly new faces and new languages. Never a minute free for nerves or brooding. No trouble about what you do, for the work is calling to be done. Night and day, bells that ring, trains that whistle, carriages that come and go, and gold pieces waiting on the counter all the time. That's the life for you.
Oh, yes, that is alive. And I?
The mistress of everything, of the chief ornament of the house. With your looks and your manners, success will be assured. Oh, enormous. You'll sit like a queen in the office and keep the slaves going by the touch of an electric button. The guests will pass in review before your throne and timidly deposit their treasures on your table. You cannot imagine how people tremble when a bill is presented to them. I'll sell the items and you'll sugar them with your sweetest smiles. Let us only get away from here at once. With the next train, we'll be in Malmo at 6:30, in Hamburg at 8:40 tomorrow morning, in Frankfurt and Basel a day later, and to reach Como by way of St. Goddard, it will take us 3 days.
3 days?
Only 3 days.
Only 3 days. Oh. Whoa! Whew, that sounds fine, but but you must give me some courage, yeah? Tell me that you love me. Come take me in your arms.
I should like to, but I don't dare. Not in this house. I love you beyond doubt. Or can you doubt it, Miss Julie?
Miss! There are no longer any barriers between us. Call me Julie. Call me Julie.
Oh, no, I cannot. I cannot. There will be barriers between us as long as we stay in this house. There is the past and there is the Count, and I have never met another person for whom I felt such respect. If I only catch sight of his gloves and a chair, I feel small. If I only hear that bell up there, I jump like a skittish horse. And even now when I see his boots standing there so stiff and shiny, it is as if something made my back bend. It is nothing but tradition and superstition, hammered into us from childhood, but it can be as easily forgotten again. Let us only get away to another country, where they have a republic. And you'll see them bend their backs double over. You'll see, backs have to be bent, but not mine. I wasn't born to that kind of thing. I have better stuff in me character. And if I can only get hold of that first branch, then you'll see me do some climbing. Today I am a valet, but next year I will be a hotel owner. In 10 years I can live on the money I have made, and then I can go to Romania and buy myself a title.
Splendid!
Yes, in Romania the title of count can be had for cash. And so you'll be a countess after all. My countess.
What do I care about all that when all I had is cash behind me? Tell me that you love me. Otherwise, what am I? Otherwise.
I will tell you so 1,000 times, but not here. And above all, no sentimentality.
Oh.
We must look at the matter in cold blood, like sensible people.
Oh.
You sit down, Sarah. Sit down there. No, I'll sit here.
Good Lord!
And then we'll talk as if nothing had
Have
happened.
you no feelings at all?
There is no one more full of feelings than I am, but I know how to control myself.
A while ago, you kissed my shoe, and now?
Yes, that was then. Now we have other things to think of.
Oh, just don't speak harshly to me.
Oh, no, but sensibly. One folly has been committed. Don't let us commit anymore. The Count may be here at any moment, and before he arrives, we must settle our plans. What do you think of my plans for the future? Do you approve of them?
Yes, well, they seem acceptable on the whole, but there is one question. A big undertaking of that kind will require big capital. Have you got it?
Of course. I have my expert knowledge, my vast experience, my familiarity with several languages. That's the very best kind of capital, I should say.
That won't even buy a railroad ticket!
True enough! And that's why I am looking for a backer to advance the needful cash.
Where could you get one all of a sudden?
Well, that's for you to find him if you want to become my partner.
I cannot do it. And I have no money of my own?
Well, then, that's off.
And?
Everything remains as before.
Do you think I am going to stay under this roof as your whore? Do you think I will let the people point their fingers at me? Do you think I can look my father in the face after this? No! Take me away from here, away from all this humiliation and disgrace. Oh, what have I done? My God!
So we have got around to that too now. What have you done? Nothing but what many others have done before you.
No, you are despising me. I'm falling.
Fall down to me, and I will lift you up again.
Oh, what horrible power drew me to you. Was it the attraction that strong exercises on the weak? The one who is rising? On the one who is falling? Or was it love? Do you even know what love is?
Oh, well, I should say so. Don't you think I have been there before?
Oh, the thoughts that you think and the language that you use.
Well, that's the way I was brought up, and that's the way I am. Now, don't get nerves now and play the exquisite fragile thing. Right now, one of us is just as good as the other.
Oh.
Look here, my girl. Let me treat you to a glass of something super fine.
Where did you get that bottle?
In the cellar.
My father's burgundy.
Isn't it good enough for the son-in-law?
And I'm drinking beer!
It shows merely that I have better taste than you.
Thief!
Oh, do you mean to tell on me?
Oh, the accomplice of a house thief? Well, have I been drunk? Or have I been dreaming all this night, the Midsummer Eve, that the feast of innocent...
Innocent, ha!
Oh, can there be another human being on earth so unhappy as I?
But why should you be after such a conquest?
Oh.
Think of Kristen in there. Don't you think she has feelings?
Well, I thought so a while ago, but I don't think so any longer. No, a servant is a servant.
And a whore. Oh, I do pity you. When I was lying among the onions and saw you up there among the roses, I will tell you now, I had the same nasty thoughts that all boys have.
You who wanted to die because you could not have my love.
Among the oats and flowers,
Yes.
not the cans.
Nice.
More or less. I think I read the story in the paper, and it was about a chimney sweep who actually crawled into a wood box full of lilacs because a girl had brought suit against him for not supporting her kid.
That's the sort you are.
Well, I had to think of something, for it's the highfalutin stuff that the women bite on.
Scoundrel. And now you have seen the back of the hawk.
Not the back, exactly.
I was supposed to be the first branch.
But the branch was rotten.
I was supposed to be the sign in front of the hotel.
And I, the
Sit at your
hotel.
counter and lure your customers and doctor your bills.
No, that I should have done
A
myself.
human being can be so steeped in filth.
Well, wash it off, I did.
Vulgar, you lackey. You mean I'll stand up when I talk to you.
You lucky bitch! You mean you whore! Shut up and get out of here! You are the right one to come and tell me that I am vulgar! People of my class would never in their lives act as vulgarly as you have acted tonight! Or do you think any servant girl would throw herself at a man as you did? I have never seen the like of it except among beasts and prostitutes!
That's right! Strike me! Step on me! I haven't deserved any better. I am a wretched creature. Save me! Help me! Help me!
No, I don't want to lower myself by a denial of my share in the honor of seducing. But do you think a person in my place would have dared to raise his eyes to you if the invitation to do so had not come from yourself? And with such fervor and so often? I am still in a state of utter surprise.
Pride!
Well, why not? Although I must confess that the victory was a bit too easy to bring with real intoxication.
Strike me some more, please!
Oh, no. Forgive me instead what I have been saying. I don't want to strike one who is disarmed, and least of all a lady. On one hand, I cannot deny that it has given me pleasure to have discovered that what had dazzled those of us below is nothing but fairy dust. That the hawk is simply grey on the back also. That there is powder on the tender cheek. That there may be filth under the polished nails, and that the handkerchief may be soiled, although it smells of putrid violets. But on the other hand, it hurts me to have discovered that what I was striving to reach is neither better nor more genuine. It hurts me to see you sinking so low that you are far beneath your own good. It hurts me as it hurts me to see the autumnal flowers beaten down by the rain and crushed into mud.
You speak as if you were already above me.
Oh, well, so I am, don't you see? I could have made a countess of you, but you could never make me a count.
But I am worth of a count, and that's more than you can ever achieve.
True enough, but I can be the father of counts.
You're a thief, and I am not.
Thief is not the worst. There are other kinds still farther down. When I serve in a house, I regard myself in a sense as a member of the family, as a child of the house. And you don't call it death when children pick a few of the berries to low down the vines. Oh, Miss Julie, you are a magnificent creature. And far too good a woman for one like me. You were swept along by a spell of intoxication, and now you want to cover up your mistake by making yourself believe that you are in love with me. Oh, well, you're not. Unless possibly my looks might tempt you, in which case, your love is no better than mine. I could never be satisfied with having you care for nothing in me but the mere animal, and your true love I can never win.
How are you so sure of that? Huh?
Oh, you mean to say that it might be possible? Oh, I could love you, without a doubt. For you are beautiful, refined, educated, charming when you want to be, a force of nature, and it is not likely that the flame will ever burn out in a man once he has been set alight by you. You're like hot wine with strong spices in it, and one of your...
Leave me alone! You cannot ruin me that way.
How then?
Not in that way. Not by caresses or sweet words, not by thinking of the future, not by escape from disgrace, not at all. I hate you as I hate rats. But I cannot escape from you!
Escape with me!
Yes, we must escape, but before we go anywhere, we must talk. Well, that is, I must talk, for you have done all the talking, Jan. You have told me about your life, and now I must tell you about mine, so that we know each other right to the bone. Give me more wine!
Don't drink so much, it's common.
I am common. My mother was lowly born. She believed in equality and women's independence and that kind of thing. And she had a decided aversion against marriage. So when my father proposed to her, she refused and said that he could be her lover. She would have married him, and then she did it just the same. I came into this world against my mother's wishes. I have come to learn. And then my mother wanted to bring me up in a perfectly natural state, and at the same time, I was to learn everything that a boy is taught so that I could prove that a woman is just as good as a man. I was dressed as a boy and had to learn how to handle a horse that could have nothing to do with the cows, for that was her domain. I had to groom and harness and go hunting on horseback. I was in the forest to learn something about agriculture and to slaughter the animals. And all over the estate, men were set to do women's work and women were set to do men's, with the result that everything went to pieces and we became the laughingstock of the entire county. Oh. At last, my father recovered from the spell cast over him, for he rebelled. And everything was changed to suit his own ideas. That's when my mother became ill. She would often fall into convulsions and hid herself in the garret or the garden. Sometimes she would stay out all night. She would lose days in the forest, gouging herself and dead leaves and soil and night crawlers. Once, she appeared above my bed, her hands and face covered in dirt and blood, just reeking of the musk of the wood. She just stood there for the longest time, just staring at me, burning me with her stone-cold eyes, so full of hate, and at the same time, love. Then she reached out for my face, her fingers splintered like the roots of so many trees, as if she were intent on dragging me down into the ground with her. I must have screamed out because the next thing I knew, my father wasn't there, grabbing at her, pushing her out of my room. But she fought him with such fierceness, I can still hear her screeching. Not long after came the big fire, which you doubtlessly heard. The house, the stable, the barn were all burned down. And this, under circumstances which made it look as if the fire had been set on purpose. For the disaster occurred the day after insurance expired, and the money sent for the renewal of the policy had been delayed by a messenger's carelessness, so that it came too late.
Don't drink anymore.
Oh, what does it matter? We were without a roof over our heads and had to sleep in the carriages. My father didn't know where to get money for the rebuilding of the house, and then my mother suggested that he try to borrow it from a childhood friend of hers, a brick merchant living not far from here. My father got the loan, interest-free, which astonished him, and so the house was built up again. Do you know who set the fire?
Her ladyship, your mother.
Very good! Do you know who the brick manufacturer was?
Your mother's lover.
Excellent. Here. Do you know to whom the money belonged?
No.
To my mother.
To his lordship, then?
No. My mother possessed a small fortune of her own, which she did not want to leave in my father's control. So she invested it with her friend.
Who co-opted?
Exactly. And all this came to my father's knowledge. He couldn't bring suit. He couldn't prove that it was his wife's money. He couldn't pay his wife's lover. That was my mother's revenge because he had made himself master in his own house. At that time, he came near shooting himself. It was in a rumor that he had tried and failed, but he rose like a phoenix, and my mother had to pay for what she had done. Those 5 years were very difficult. My sympathies were with my father, but I took my mother's side because I was not aware of the true circumstances. Although I was frightened of the creature she had become, there was a deep-seated bond between us. From her, I learned to suspect and hate men, for she hated the whole sex. And I made an oath to her that I would never become a manslave.
So you became engaged to the county attorney.
Yes, so that he would be my slave.
But he didn't want to.
Oh, he wanted it all right, but I tired of
All
it.
right, I saw it myself.
Oh, well, what was it you think you saw, praying mantis?
Just that, how he broke the engagement.
It was I who broke it off. Did you say he did it?
No, he didn't say anything. I saw it myself in the stable yard doing one of your training sessions.
How did you get it?
No, simply observing. Do you really hate men, Miss Julie?
Yes! Most of the time. But every now and then, when nature burns, oh, will the fire never die?
And you hate me too.
Beyond measure. I should like to shoot you like a wild animal.
2-year penal servitude and the animal gets shot. That's the law for bestiality, but you have nothing to shoot with, and there is no animal.
Oh, isn't there?
No, this is useless. What can we do now?
But go away!
In order to plague each other to death.
To enjoy each other. A couple of days a week, as long as enjoyment is possible, and then die.
Die?
Yes.
I'd rather open a hotel.
Well, at Lake Como, where the sun is always shining and the laurels stand green at Christmas and the orange trees are glowing.
Lake Como is a rainy hall, and I would see no oranges except at the grocer's, but it is a good place for tourists, as it has a lot of villas that can be rented to loving couples, and that's a profitable business. Do you know why? Because they take a lease for 6 months, and then they leave after 3 weeks.
Why? Only after
Oh,
3 weeks.
because they quarrel, of course, but the rent has to be paid just the same, and then you can rent the house again, and that way it goes on all the time, for there's plenty of love, even if it doesn't last long.
You don't want to die with me.
I don't want to die at all. Both because I am fond of living and because I regard suicide as a crime against the providence which has bestowed life on us.
Ha! You believe in God?
Of course I do! And I go to church every other Sunday! And now I am tired of all this, and I am going to...
And you think that will be enough for me? Do you know what you owe a woman that you have defiled?
I always settle my debts.
Do you know what the law provides?
Unfortunately, the law provides no punishment for a woman who seduces a man.
Can you think of any escape except by her going abroad and getting married and then getting a divorce?
Suppose I refuse to enter into this mésalliance.
Mésalliance?
Yeah, you see, nobody in my family was a pimp.
What?
Do you know who the first of your line was? A miller, who let the king fuck his wife in exchange for a title during the war with Denmark. And then he gained all of this. I have no such ancestry. I have none at all. But I can become an ancestor myself.
I should have known better than to unburden my heart with one who is unworthy. For sacrificing my family's honor?
What was it I told you? You shouldn't drink, for then you talk. And you must not talk.
Oh, I regret what I have done. How I regret it. If at least you loved me.
But last time, what do you mean? Am I to weep? Am I to jump over your whip? Am I to kiss you and lure you down to lay coma for 3 weeks and so on? What am I to do? Oh, this is getting to be rather painful. But that's what comes from getting me mixed up with women. Oh, Miss Julie, I can see that you are unhappy. I know that you are suffering, but I cannot understand you. People of my class never carry on like that. There is never hatred between us. Love is a play to us, and we play at it when our work leaves us time to do so, but we have not the time to do so all day and all night, as you have. Well, I believe you are sick. I am sure you are sick.
Please be good and speak to me like a human being.
All right, but human yourself. You spit on me, and then you won't let me wipe it off on you.
Help me. Help me. Tell me only, what am I to do with it? Where am I to turn?
Stay right here and keep quiet. Nobody knows anything.
Oh, impossible. The people know. Christine.
No, they don't know, and they would never believe it possible.
But, it might happen again.
That's true.
And the results!
The results?
Yes!
Well, I didn't think of that.
Oh.
Then there is only one thing to do. You must go. I can't go with you, but then everything would be lost. So you must go alone abroad. Anywhere.
Alone? Where? I cannot do it!
Oh, you must! And before the count gets back.
Oh.
If you stay, then you know what will happen. Once on the wrong path, one wants to keep on as the harm is done anyhow. Then one grows more and more reckless, and at last it all comes out. So you must get away. Once you're saddled, you can write to the count and tell him everything. Except that it was me, and he would never guess it, nor do I think he would be very anxious to find out.
I can't do it. Wait, no, come. I'll go if you come with me.
You start breaking mad, woman. It's Julie to run away with her wallet. It would be in the papers tomorrow. The count could never survive.
I can't leave. I can't stay. Oh, I am so tired. I am so fearfully tired. Oh. But give me orders. Set me going. Huh? For I can no longer think. I can no longer think.
You see now what good for nothings you are? Why do you strut and turn up your noses as if you were the lords of creation? Well, I am going to give you orders. Go and get dressed, get some traveling money from your father's study, and then come back again.
Come with me.
To your room, now you're crazy again.
No.
Go!
Can't you speak kindly to me, Jan?
An order must always sound unkind. Now you know how it feels!
Goodness gracious, how this place looks. What have you been up to anyhow?
The people Miss Julie dragged in. Have you been sleeping so hard that you didn't hear anything at all?
Oh, I've been sleeping like a sack of potatoes.
And dressed for church already?
Yes. Didn't you promise to come with me to communion today?
Oh yes, I remember now. What's the text today?
Oh, about the beheading of John the Baptist, of course.
Oh, that's going to be a long and bloody story, I'm sure.
Well, what has been keeping you up all night?
I've been sitting here talking to Miss Julie.
Why, John, you're green in the face. She hasn't an idea of what's proper. That creature. So you've been drinking together also?
Yes.
Shame on you! Look me in the eye. Look me in the eye!
Yes.
Is it possible? Is it possible?
Yes, it is!
That's worse than I could ever have believed. It's awful.
You're not jealous of her?
No, not of her! Had it been claro, Sophie, then I'd have scratched your ass out. Yes, that's the way I feel about it, and I can tell why. Oh my, but that is sick me.
Are you mad at her?
No, not at her, but at you. It was wrong of you, John, very wrong. No, I tell you, I don't want to stay in this house any longer with people for whom it is impossible to have any respect.
But why should you have any respect for them?
Oh, but you, who are so smart, can't tell that. You wouldn't serve people who can't act decently, would you? It's to lower oneself, I think.
But it ought to be a consolation to us that they are not a bit better than we are.
I don't think so. For if they're no better, then it's no use trying to get up to them. And just think of the Count. Think of him who has had so much sorrow in his day. No, I don't want to stay in this house any longer, and with a fellow like you two. If it had been the county attorney, if it had only been someone of her own sort.
Now look here!
Yes, you are all right in your own way. But there's after all some difference between one kind of people and another. Oh my, but this is something I'll never get over. And the young lady who was so proud and so hard to the men, you couldn't believe she would ever let one come near her, and such a one of that. Oh, and she, who wanted to have poor Diana shot because she had been running around with the gatekeeper's hound. Well, I declare, but I won't stay here any longer, and come October, I get out of here.
But that's for months away. I thought you wouldn't stay a moment longer. And then what exactly do you plan on doing come October?
Well, as we've come to talk of that now, perhaps it would be just as well if you looked for something, seeing that we're going to get married after all.
I thought you wouldn't stay with a fellow like me. And besides, what could I look for? As a married man, I couldn't get a position like this.
No, I understand that. But you could get a job as a caretaker, or maybe as a messenger, or a clerk in a government office. Of course, the wages would be light, and we would have to be prudent, but it is dependable. And then there is pension for the widow and the children.
A caretaker! A clerk. No, that is not the life of me, and I am not inclined to think of dying all at once for the sake of a wife and children. You know that I have greater ambitions than that.
Are you? You and your ambitions. Your ambitions. You have got obligations that you had better keep in mind.
Now don't go and talking to me of obligations. I know what I've got to do without you nagging me. However, we've plenty of time to think of all this. Go into your room and finish getting ready, and then we'll go to church.
Who's walking around out there?
I don't know, maybe Clara.
Do you think the Count has come home without anybody hearing him?
No, the Count, no, that isn't possible. He would have rung for me.
Oh, God save us all. Never have I seen the like of it.
Ready?
Hush, Kristen is away.
Does she suspect anything?
No, she doesn't. Put my head and tell you look.
How do I look?
A shambles.
Oh.
You're as pale as a corpse, and your face is dirty, and your hair is a rat's
Well,
nest.
let me tell you something. Give me a towel. Oh, the sun is rising.
And then the devil retreats once more.
Oh, devils on trolls were at work last night. Listen, Jan, come with me. I have the money.
Enough.
Now for a start. Come with me, for I cannot travel alone today, on a midsummer day, on a stuffy train jammed with people who will stare at me. And I couldn't stand, having to stand still at stations when I want to fly. No, I cannot. Oh, and then the memories will come, childhood memories of midsummer days when the inside of the church was turned into a green forest. The dinner at the festive table with relatives and friends, the afternoon in the park with music and dancing and flowers and games. Oh, I may run and burn, but memories are in the baggage car, and along with the remorse and repentance.
I'll go with you, but at once. This very moment, before it's too late.
Rest then!
But no baggage. That would only give us away.
Nothing at all, only what we can take with us.
What have you got there?
So my feet, Justina, I can't leave her
Did
here.
you hear of driving a birdcage along with us? That would only give us away.
The only thing I take with me from my home,
Oh.
the only living creature.
There's no way you can bring the damn thing.
No, let me take her.
There's no way you can bring the damn thing.
No, I'll leave her
Drop the
alone.
cage, I tell you.
Set her free.
She would never survive
Oh,
up down
it'd be
her
better
life.
if you kill her.
Well, give it to me.
Only don't hurt her. Oh, get my little love. Oh, you're going to die now and leave me forever. Oh, no, I cannot.
Don't you know it's a question of your life, of your future?
and eat your heart from the spirit. You think I am weak? You think I love you because the fruit of my womb was yearning for your seed? You think I want to carry your offspring under my heart and nourish it with my blood? Bear your children and take your name? I have never heard your family name. No, tell me, because I have never heard it. What is your name? Oh, I should become Mrs. Hubble, or Mrs. Lavatory, or Mrs. Publicar. You're just a dog that's wearing my collar, a lackey with my coat of arms on your buttons. That I should share you with my cook, and be the rival of my own servant. Oh! You think I am a coward? I want to run away? No. Now I'll stay and let the lightning strike. My father will come home, find a ship in the open. The money, boop, gone. And then he'll ring twice for the ballot, once for the sheriff, and then I shall tell everything. Everything! Oh, but it will be good to get an end to it if it'd only be the end. And then his heart will break, and he will die. That's right, music man. So there will be an end to all of us, and all will be quiet, peace, eternal rest. And then the coat of arms will be shattered on the coffin, and the count's line will be wiped out. Oh, and the lackey's line goes on in the orphanage, with swallows in the gutter, and empty jail.
There spoke the royal blood! Bravo, Julie! Now you put the minute back in his saddle!
Let's go upward, yeah? What kind of performance is this on the Sabbath morning? You would have asked you men when you hadn't better cleared up yet. A woman? Wait, shout, carry on. You're that mongrel.
While the ladies are discussing, I shall take to my toilet.
No, really, I don't understand this kind of trouble. Where are you going in your troubling cave?
I'll tell you everything. Listen.
I don't want to know anything. What is it about? Is it about this nonsense with you and I don't care about it at all? It's none of my business. But if you're trying to get him away with you, we'll put a stop to that.
And listen to me. I cannot stay here, and you cannot stay here. And so we must leave. Now I have an idea. Suppose the three of us should leave. Go abroad, go to Switzerland, and stay in a hotel together. Wouldn't that be fine? Oh, look, I have fucking more than enough money, you see. And Yen and I could run the whole thing. And you, I thought, could take charge of the kitchen. Oh, wouldn't that be fine? Oh, say yes now and come on with it, but everything will be fixed. Oh, say yes. Well, you have never traveled, Kristen. You have no idea what fun it is to travel on a train. You must get out. Look at the world. Constantly new people, new countries, and then we get to Hamburg and take in the zoological gardens and the past, and that's what you'd like. And then, we go to the theaters and the operas, and when we get to Munich, there are a lot of museums where they do the Rubens and the Raphaels and all those important painters. So I've heard. Haven't you heard of Munich, Kristen? Munich? Where King Louis used to be the king! You know, the boy man. And then we'll have a look at his castle. He still has some castles that are furnished just as in a fairy tale. And from there, it isn't very far to Switzerland! And the Alps, just think of the Alps with snow on top of them in the middle of the summer. And then you have orange trees and mowers that are green all year round. And then, we get a hotel. And I sit in the office while Jan is outside receiving tours and he goes marketing and writes letters. It's a life for you. And then when the train whistles and the carriages drive up and it rings upstairs and it rings in the restaurant. And then I am going to make up bills and I am going to solve them too. You can never imagine how timid the tours are when they come to make up bills. And you will sit like a queen in the kitchen. Of course, you're not going to be standing at the stove yourself. You'll be breaking backs. And we will dress you in beautiful clothes so that you can be the fine guest. And with your looks, I'm not flattering you because you're a very attractive girl. Catch a husband some fine day. Oh, a rich Englishman for those colors are so easy to get. And then we grow rich. And we build a villa like Como. Of course, it rains a bit, but the sun must be shining sometimes. Or else, it's a bit dark, but it's okay. Or we can go back here, go back home, and or some other place.
Do you believe any of that yourself?
Oh, I don't believe in anything.
So you were going to run away?
Run away? Well, that's putting it rather strong. You have heard what the young lady proposes, and though she is tired out now by being up all night. It's a proposition that can be put through all right.
Now you tell me. Did you mean me to act as cook for that whore?
You speak decently of your mistress!
Mistress! What? That pile of twigs? Well, listen to him. I can hardly believe it. Have you really seen your handiwork?
Miss Julie is your mistress, and when you are disrespectful to her, you should feel less of yourself.
Oh, I have always had enough respect for myself.
Stop none for others!
Not to go below my own station. You can't say that the count's cook has had anything to do with the groom or the swineherd. You can't say anything.
It's your luck that you have to do with the gentleman.
Yes, a gentleman who sells the oats out of the count's stable.
What's up to you who takes a cut from the groceries and bribes from the butcher, so that you can respect your master and mistress any longer?
Are you coming to church with me? I think you need a good sermon on top of such a deed. A bath in holy water wouldn't hurt either.
I am not going to church. You can go by yourself and confess your own deeds.
Yes, I'll do that. And I'll bring back enough forgiveness to cover you also. The Savior suffered and died on the cross for all our sins. And if we go to him with a believing heart and a repentant mind, he'll take all our guilt on himself.
She believed that, Christine.
Oh, it is my living belief, as sure as I stand here. And the faith of my childhood, which I have kept since I was young. And where sin abounds, grace abounds too.
If I had your faith, oh,
yes, but you don't get it without the special grace of God. And that is not bestowed on everybody. That is just the great secret of the work of grace. And the Lord has no regards for persons, but those that are last shall be the foremost.
but yes, but that means he has regards for those that
And
are
it
last.
is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to get into heaven. That's the way it is. Now I'm going to church alone. And as I pass by, I'll tell the stableman not to let out the horses. That is if anybody should like to get away before the count comes home. You will never touch me again!
I will never fuck you again! You self-righteous bitch! She's the devil herself! And all this because you couldn't leave the damn thing!
Never mind the finch. What about me? Was there any way out?
No!
What would you do in my place?
In your place,
Yes.
let me see. As one of gentle birth, as a woman, as one who has fallen. I don't know. Oh, wait. There is a way.
Like this?
But please understand that I myself wouldn't do it, but there is a difference between us.
Because you are a man and I want to. Oh, I want to. But I cannot. My father couldn't either that time. He should have.
He should not have. He had to get his revenge first.
Now it is my mother's chance to avenge herself through me. Oh.
Have you not loved the Count, your father, Miss Julie?
Yes, immensely, but I must have hated him too without being aware of it. But he was the one who reared me in contempt for my own sex. Half woman and half man. Whose fault is it what has happened? Huh? My father's, my mother's, my own? My own? I have nothing that is my own. I thought that didn't come from my father, not a passion that didn't come from my mother. And now, this last about all human creatures being equal, I got that from him, my fiancé, whom I call a scoundrel for that reason. How can it be my own fault? To put the blame on Jesus as Christine does? No, I am too proud for that. I know too much thanks to my father's teachings. And that about a rich person not getting into heaven is just a lie. And Christine, who has money in the savings bank, much more than me, wouldn't get in anyhow. Ha! Whose fault is it? What does it matter? Is it just the same? It is I who must bear the guilt and the consequences.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh!
The Count is back. You give Christine.
Help me to see to the ship away.
It is yon, your lordship. Yes, your lordship. In a minute, at once. Yes, in half an hour.
What did he say? Oh, Jesus. What did he say?
He called for his boots and he wanted his coffee in half an hour.
I'm so tired. Oh, I can't do anything. I can't repent. I can't run away. I can't stay. I can't leave. I can't die. Oh, help me. Help. Oh, command me, and I'll obey you like a dog. Do me this last favor. Save my honor and save his name. Oh, you know what my will not to do, and you know what it cannot do. Now, give me your will. Make me do it.
I can't do it. I don't understand. It is as if this coat made me. I cannot command you. And now, since I heard the Count's voice, I can't quite explain it. I believe if the Count should come here and tell me to cut my own throat, I'd do it on the spot.
Well, make believe that you are he, and that I am you. You did some fine acting when you were on your knees before me. Then you were the nobleman, or have you ever been to a hypnotist show? He says to his subject, "Get the broom." The man gets it. He says, "Sleep," and the man sleeps.
Yes, but the subject must be asleep.
I am asleep already. There's nothing in this whole room but a lot of smoke, and you look like a stove that looks like a man in black clothes and a high hat, and your face is a lump of white ashes. Oh, how warm and nice it is, so light, so peaceful. Oh.
Here's the broom. Go now while it is not too light to the barn.
Thank you. Oh, now I shall have rest. But tell me first that the foremost also received the gift of grace, even if you don't believe.
Julie, you are no longer among the foremost. Now you're among the last.
That's right, I am among the last. I am among the very last. Oh, but no, I cannot go. Just tell me once more that I must go.
I can't do it either!
But the foremost shall also be the last.
Don't think. Why? Oh, you're taking away my strength too so that I become a coward. What? I thought I saw the bell moving. Or to be that scared of a bell. Yes, but it isn't only the bell. There is somebody behind it. A hand that makes it move. And something else that makes the hand move. And if you cover up your ears, then it rings worse than ever. And it rings and rings until you answer it. And then it's too late. Then comes the sheriff, and then it's horrible. But there's no other way. Go!
Oh, mother! Give me strength. Oh. Oh.
Yes, your lordship. Hoy es una noche muy especial, no solamente porque es nuestra última noche de todo este gran proceso que hemos recorrido, pero también gracias a nuestro director hemos crecido mucho, hemos aprendido mucho y hoy es su cumpleaños.
Yes, please, please welcome our amazing production team. Chris Manahan, come. He is. Destiny. Rebecca and Keegan, where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Keegan, Rebecca. Oh, no, okay, Rebecca's downstairs, sorry. It would have been absolutely impossible to do this production without the amazing cast, of course, but the production team. They do everything that you don't see and make all the pieces work. But I must say, this has been an amazing evening, an amazing run. This is our 5th week, the conclusion of our 5th week. And I am so honored and emotional, as you can see, to work with such amazing people. And it's the first production of The Bat, the first of many to come, and I hope I have the great pleasure and honor to work with every one of them, not only in their current capacities, but the cast behind the scenes and the production team in front of the scenes, and vice versa. But thank you so much. And yes, it is my birthday this weekend, but it also, tomorrow, actually right now, is actually Midsummer's Eve in Sweden. So happy Midsummer's Eve, and thank you. Thank you very much. Yes. Thank you all. Oh, I'm so sorry. Laura has to rush off. She has to go see the premiere of her film, it's screening in LA. So she's late for the airport. Good luck. Thank you all again so much for coming. Thank you. It's been a great...
I had enough respect for myself.
Stop, none for others!
Not to go below my own station. You can't say that the count's cook has had anything to do with the groom or the swineherd. You can't say anything
It's your luck that you have to do with a gentleman!
Yes, a gentleman who sells the oats out of the count's stable.
What's up to you who takes a cut from the groceries and bribes from the butcher so that you can respect your master and mistress any longer?
Are you coming to church with me? I think you need a good sermon on top of such a deal. A bath in holy water wouldn't hurt either.
I am not going to church. You can go by yourself and confess your own deeds.
Yes, I'll do that. And I'll bring back enough forgiveness to cover you also. The Savior suffered and died on the cross for all our sins. And if we go to him with a believing heart and a repentant mind, he'll take all our guilt on himself.
You believe that, Christine?
Oh, it is my living belief, as sure as I stand here. And the faith of my childhood, which I have kept since I was young. And where sin abounds, grace abounds too.
If I had your faith,
Oh yes, but you don't get it without the special grace of God. And that is not bestowed on everybody. That is just the great secret of the work of grace. And the Lord has no regards for persons, but those that are last shall be the foremost.
but yes, but that means he has regards for those that
And
are
it
last.
is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to get into heaven. That's the way it is. Now I'm going to church alone. And as I pass by, I'll tell the stableman not to let out the horses. That is if anybody should like to get away before the count comes home. Oh. You will never touch me
I
again!
will never fuck you again! You self-righteous bitch! She's the devil herself! And all this because you couldn't leave the damn thing!
Never mind the finch. What about me? Was there any way out?
No!
What would you do in my place?
In your place.
Yes.
Let me see. As one of gentle birth, as a woman, as one who has fallen. I don't know. Oh, wait. There is a way.
Like this?
But please understand that I myself wouldn't do it, for there is a difference between us.
Because you are a man and I a woman. Oh, I want to, but I cannot. My father couldn't either that time. He should have.
He should not have. He had to get his revenge first.
Now it is my mother's chance to avenge herself through me. Oh.
Have you not loved the Count, your father, Miss Julie?
Yes, immensely, but I must have hated him too without being aware of it. But he was the one who reared me in contempt for my own sex, half woman and half man. Whose fault is it what has happened? Huh? My father's, my mother's, my own? My own? I have nothing that is my own. I haven't a thought that didn't come from my father, not a passion that didn't come from my mother. And now, this last about all human creatures being equal, I got that from him, my fiancé, whom I call a scoundrel for that reason. How can it be my own fault? To put the blame on Jesus as Christine does? No, I am too proud for that. I know too much thanks to my father's teachings. And that about a rich person not getting into heaven is just a lie. And Christine, who has money in the savings bank, much more than me, wouldn't get in anyhow.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh,
The Count is back. You give Kristen.
no, you're seeing to the ship away.
It is yon, your lordship. Yes, your lordship. In a minute, at once. Yes, in half an hour.
What did he say? Oh, Jesus. What did he say?
He called for his boots and he wanted his coffee in half an hour.
I'm so tired. Oh, I can't do anything. I can't repent. I can't run away. I can't stay. I can't leave. I can't die. Oh, help me. Help. Oh, command me, and I'll obey you like a dog. Do me this last favor. Save my honor and save his name. Oh, you know what my will not to do, and you know what it cannot do. No. Give me your will. Make me do it.
I can't do it. I don't understand. It is if this code made me. I cannot command you. And now, since I heard the Count's voice, I can't quite explain it. I believe if the Count should come here and tell me to cut my own throat, I'd do it on the spot.
Well, I believe that you are he, and that I am you. You did some fine acting when you were on your knees before me. Then you were the nobleman, or have you ever been to a hypnotist show? He says to his subject, "Get the broom." The man gets it. He says, "Sleep," and the man sleeps.
Yes, but the subject must be asleep.
I am asleep already. Well, there's nothing in this whole room but a lot of smoke, and you look like a stove that looks like a man in black clothes and a high hat, and your face is a lump of white ashes. Oh, how warm and nice it is. So light, so peaceful. Oh.
Here's the broom. Go now while it is not too light to the barn.
Thank you. Oh, now I shall have rest. But tell me first that the foremost also received the gift of grace. Say it, even if you don't.
Julie, you are no longer among the foremost. Now you're among the last.
That's right, I am among the last. I am among the very last. Oh, but no, I cannot go. Just tell me once more that I must go.
I can't do it either!
But the foremost shall also be the last.
Don't think. Why? Oh, you're taking away my strength too so that I become a coward. What? I thought I saw the bell moving. What to be that scared of a bell? Yes, but it isn't only the bell. There is somebody behind it. A hand that makes it move. And something else that makes the hand move. And if you cover up your ears, then it rings worse than ever. And it rings and rings until you answer it. And then it's too late. Then comes the sheriff and then it's horrible. But there's no other way. Go!
Oh, mother! Give me strength. Oh.
Yes, your lordship. especial, no solamente porque es nuestra última noche de todo este gran proceso que hemos recorrido, pero también gracias a nuestro director hemos crecido mucho, hemos aprendido mucho y hoy es su cumpleaños. Can the crew come?
Yes, please welcome our amazing production team. Chris Manahan, come. He is. Destiny. Rebecca and Keegan, where are you? Keegan, Rebecca. Oh, no, okay, Rebecca's downstairs, sorry. It would have been absolutely impossible to do this production without the amazing cast, of course, but the production team. They do everything that you don't see and make all the pieces work. But I must say, this has been an amazing evening, an amazing run. This is our 5th week, the conclusion of our 5th week. And I am so honored and emotional, as you can see, to work with such amazing people. And it's the first production of The Bat, the first of many to come, and I hope I have the great pleasure and honor to work with every one of them, not only in their current capacities, but the cast behind the scenes and the production team in front of the scenes, and vice versa. But thank you so much. And yes, it is my birthday this weekend, but it also, tomorrow, actually right now, is actually Midsummer's Eve in Sweden. So happy Midsummer's Eve, and thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Thank you all. I'm so sorry. Laura has to rush off. She has to go see the premiere of her film. It's screening in LA. So she's late for the airport. Good luck. Thank you all again so much for coming. Thank you. It's been a great honor.